For tonight's pantry challenge, I decided to do some mashed potatoes using some red potatoes that we grew in our garden this past season. I don't know exactly what variety these are, but they are really nice red potato. Which, by the way, I was looking online the other day looking at different seed potatoes that I can't typically get here. And I noticed that a lot of the seed companies are not selling seed potatoes in 2022 because of some sort of a blight or a wart or something. So just check and make sure that your local supplier will be able to get you your seed potatoes for this year. Next, I tossed in some salt and some garlic, and I put it on the stove to boil. And I decided I needed to fill my salt. I've been meaning to do this for days. If you don't have one of these little funnels, they are game changers in the kitchen. I really love mine. I'll link mine below. Today, I decided I wanted to do a kind of like a deconstructed, like kind of like a chicken pot pie, deconstructed, because I have a fussy eater who doesn't like cook vegetables and another one that doesn't like food touching and such. So I kind of wanted to do a deconstructed version of a pot pie. So I used a crown of cauliflower and an onion. This one is not one I grew. This onion, I did buy it. I realized that I didn't mean to throw the onions into the bowl, so I had to, pick them out and whatnot. So I just diced up the onions into smaller bits and I threw them into a pan in some hot oil to get them all nice and sauteed and golden caramelized. And then basically, I just removed them from the pan so I could use this pan again to fry up these strips of chicken breast that I had cut up. And I seasoned them with this vegetable seasoning that I found in the cupboard. It's like a Clubhouse vegetable. It's meant for vegetables, but I wanted to use it up because it's been there for so long. And it actually has a really nice flavor. It kind of reminds me of like a souvlaki blend a little bit. So it's not salty because there's no salt in it. So it was really nice. While that was cooking, I decided to find a carrot, or I found a carrot in the back of my fridge. This is still a garden carrot. So I was really thrilled to be able to use this. And I just chopped it up really small or into little chunks. And just checked the chicken to see how it was doing. It looked really great. It smelled so good. I really wish we did have smell-o-vision so you guys could smell the aroma. It was really nice and getting a nice caramelized crust. I don't remember the name of that. I know the flavor is umami, but I don't remember the name of the process of this. But anyways, while that was the chicken was done, I didn't want it to overcook, and I wanted to use that flavor in that pan. So I took some potato water and I just spooned it in to the pan that I cooked the chicken in, and then I tossed in those beautiful garden carrots and I threw back in those caramelized onions and just gave it a good stir. I wanted to cook the carrots through a little bit, sort of just not until like they were like mushy, but just, starting to get a little bit tender. And then I added some veggie broth mix that I ordered years ago from Organic Matters. Now, I love Organic Matters, but I'm not really a fond of this broth mix. So I'm wanting to use it up in recipes as much as I can. So I added some there. I added in about a tablespoon of granulated garlic. I added salt and pepper and then some frozen peas out of my garden. So these were really nice peas. They have a really nice flavor. I think they were the Lincoln peas. This variety particularly was the Lincoln peas, I believe, and they were so good. Next, I added in some cashew milk, and for a thickener, I'm trying to, that was when I tried to add you into the dish as well. I just kind of add a dash of YouTubers and then a dash of pumpkin, no biggie. So I just added the pumpkin puree powder, which I had freeze dried in as a thickener instead of using cornstarch. I also added the broccoli, and then I spooned in a little bit more of that potato water, just to kind of get the flavors going there. Because I used a freeze-dried pumpkin, it was really thick, much thicker than I thought it would be. So I added in some more cashew milk, and then I added too much, so then I had to add more pumpkin powder. So the pumpkin powder is actually from my pumpkins that I grew. I freeze dried them and just ground them up and use them as a thickener. They're really delicious. This plate was good. I really enjoyed it. I forgot to show you the potato mashing, but it was just, butter and milk, cashew milk, and mushed it with the garlic and the salt and stuff. So it was pretty simple, basic mashed potatoes, like a garlic mashed, but it was a really delicious dish. Tyson hates cooked vegetables. He ate it. He actually ate it. So I'm like, yes, win. And I definitely will be using pot pie, pumpkin and pot pie more frequently as a filler. Now for dessert, I am making an orange Julius. I found this concentrate of orange juice in the freezer that had been there for like, I don't even know. So I wanted to get it out of my freezer. So I threw it in the blender, and then I added 1 cup of milk. It was cashew milk, and 1 cup of water. I just measured using the actual container itself. This is homemade vanilla extract. It's not like really, really strong. I prefer it much stronger, but it's only been sitting for about 6 months. And so I wanted to add a little bit of that in without getting anyone drunk, because I was serving this to a child. But anyway, then for the sweetener, I added in do you remember the other day when I made cucumber stevia sugar? I'm trying to learn how to do different versions of sugars that I could use in baking that I could grow myself. In the case like we had here where there was no sugar available, or no sweeteners, I'm trying to like eliminate, depending upon the store, to go get sweeteners or sugars for like that I can use in baking and cooking. So I wanted to try it in here. I added some ice cubes to get it going, and I definitely didn't add enough ice cubes. I actually had to add more after. But for the sugar, I think like if you were doing regular, you would add like 1/4 of a cup of sugar or 1/3 of a cup. I can't remember. I guess it depends, 1/3 or 1/4, depending on how sweet you wanted it. I wanted this quite thick, so I added much more of the ice cubes to it and just got it going there, cleaned up my mess. I don't know what it is. I make such a mess all the time. It got quite frothy, so that was what I was after. I probably added just a little bit too much ice because it should have been just a little bit more frothy. If I was to make this again, I would use half of the amount of water, and so instead of 1 cup of cashew milk, I would use 1.5 cups of cashew milk. I would double the vanilla, and I would add a little bit more of that cucumber sugar if I was doing this again. Chaz tried it. He really liked it. Tyson actually drank it. He enjoyed it. He said it didn't taste like a regular Julius, but he really liked the flavor, and he would drink it again.
It's good.
Does it taste like the orange Julius from Dairy Queen?
Pretty much, yeah.
Kid approved?
Mm-hmm.